Raven's just gone for a grueling title defense, and now Cena's out here. And oh my god, the barbed wire! This Cena's a freaking psychopath. And AJ Styles with a briefcase off the skull. CM Punk does not deserve this, and he's literally crushed him in that briefcase. Shawn Michaels is back. The Heartbreak Kid is returned. But can Kurt Angle manage the challenge? They face off at a Sacrifice. This has been one hell of a triple cage matchup. I didn't expect it to be this intense, this hardcore. Sting with a Stinger splash, and he wins it. Triple H has lost the world title. Sting is our new World Heavyweight Champion. With only 2 episodes away from Sacrifice, we have a new World Heavyweight Champion. It's been a hell of a week here in NLW, and it culminates here tonight. We are only 2 episodes away from the granddaddy that is Sacrifice on pay-per-view, and what a card it is. But the entire landscape of this company has been turned upside down, and that's because of what happened. Everything that happened last week, one of which was John Cena returning. Raven took the hardcore title from John Cena over the limit in the I Quit matchup, and Cena is back with a vengeance, but he's going to explain his actions here tonight. Why did he return when he did, and why did he put Raven through the barbed wire? We'll find out, but also, who can forget this? This has been headline news around the world. Sting is our new World Heavyweight Champion. He beat Triple H and The Undertaker in the Triple Cage. Here he is tonight as our new World Heavyweight Champion. It's no doubt going to be another fantastic night as we continue this new era, headed by our new World Champion. And listen to this place. The roof is about to blow. Listen to this reaction for the man that last week lasted for nearly a quarter of an hour inside the Triple Cage and ended up winning the World Heavyweight Championship from Triple H. He wasn't the only one in that matchup. He also had to fend off The Undertaker, and that is not an easy task. He knows firsthand. But ever since he entered NLW over a year ago, he has dreamed of this night where he could finally stand here and be the new World Heavyweight Champion. He's certainly turned a corner in the fans' eyes. And what's he got to say to this audience and Triple H in particular?
Before this show gets started, the fact of the matter is a grown man, and he's responsible for his own choices, and he chose to go down a road that would ultimately lead him to a dead end. But at the end of the day, that twisted his mind into the idea of having money and power and greed. The same kind of influence you have on all your little members of your little group. You painted a picture that's not even real. There's a whole lot that I can do for 50 of those wrestlers who are waiting back there, 50 of those guys who have hunger, who have talent, and are ready to go.
Sting wants to give opportunities to the younger guys in the back. Hang on. Oh, for God's sake, not this guy. Not this guy. Shouldn't he be in the pits of hell by now? I mean, you saw what happened last week. What happened to this man, Randy Orton. He's at the moment, cutting Sting's celebration short. Sting was going on about Triple H and how money and power and greed weren't going to stop him from winning the title, but why is Randy Orton out here? He's obviously had his issues with a certain big red machine named Kane over the past few weeks. We remember he was put in the pit of fire, was Kane, by Randy Orton. At least that's the rumour that circulated. But why is he out here? And what's he got to say to Sting?
I did the impossible. I destroyed the legend. I beat him down, put him in that casket, stuffed him in that casket, and set his on fire. Done, dead, buried, burned. I honestly don't. I did what I said I was going to do. I'm the legend killer, Daddy. Well, let me ask you a little question. How does it feel to know that you'll never, ever see again? Some of you might ask, what's next for the legend killer? I think the answer to that question is obvious. What's next for the legend killer is to once again become the world heavyweight champion. It looks like the mighty have fallen. What happens Sunday? I'll tell you what, you're gonna get something else if you don't leave this ring. You're gonna get an RKO.
Guys, it's obvious in this new era of NLW that it's clear to me and for all these people to see that people want opportunity. They want to seize and grab the brass ring. And you know, it's obvious to me that there's a lot of tension in that ring right now. I can sense it. But Randy Orton, I can understand some of the points you've made, and I know you want to prove to yourself and to the people that you are a worthy winner of the world title. But the things you say about Kane, burying him alive, that's going a little bit too extreme, isn't it? I mean, last week we saw you were dragged to the bottom of the ring. Only you know what happened, but I wouldn't be too confident if I were you, considering Kane's habit of showing up at the most unlikely of times. And Sting, I understand that you want to improve upon Triple H's last championship reign and give out more opportunities to succeed. And I like both of the points that you guys made. Congratulations, Sting, because tonight you are going to have your first official match as world champion when you go one-on-one with the legend killer, Randy Orton. What a main event made! Sting versus Randy Orton is tonight's main event. Well, an amazing matchup by the commissioner. Sting having a chance to prove himself as world champion. Oh my lord, look it out! Randy Orton looking for that RKO out of nowhere and now slithering out of the ring like a flipping viper. Like the viper he is, and considering the problems he's had over the past couple of weeks with Kane, you'd think he'd learn to shut his mouth. I mean, we don't know where he went the past two times we've seen him. He was taken away in an ambulance by Kane, and also last week was dragged to the bottom of the ring. But tonight, Randy Orton has a humongous opportunity. He's going to try and block Kane out of his mind, because tonight he's got a matchup against the world champion Sting. And Sting tonight has his first matchup as world champion, taking on Randy Orton. Now, I've already got enough issues to sort out in this company as it is. I don't know what the hell is wrong with you two and your relationship between each other, but it's got to end as soon as possible. That is why on Metal I made the matchup AJ Styles versus CM Punk at Sacrifice, and it's going to be for the Money in the Bank briefcase. Maybe AJ Styles isn't happy with that, but quite frankly, as the commissioner, I do not give a rat's ass. So it's going to be Styles versus Punk, you two squaring off at Sacrifice for the briefcase. But after last week, what we saw happened, and there's nothing I can do about it now. It was a violent act, and you've obviously gotten into the head of each other. This petty grudge has been going on for months and months, And at Sacrifice, you're going to have a chance to settle your differences. But tonight, I hope to repair the friendship that you may have once had. It may not have worked for AJ Styles and Kurt Angle, but tonight, you AJ Styles and you CM Punk are going to team up tonight as a tag team tandem. Your opponents are going to be the new NLW Tag Team Champions, Kevin Nash and The Big Show. And you know what? This time, so I'm sure you're going to at least attempt to get along. I'm going to sweeten the deal. Tonight, the matchup is going to be for the NLW Tag Team Championships. This is going to be Kevin Nash and The Big Show's first championship defense, and it's going to be against you two. So, if you set aside your differences, you could be walking out of here as the new Tag Team Champions.
The commissioner making a hell of a lot of matches tonight. We've already heard Sting versus Randy Orton, but Punk and Styles versus Nash and The Big Show for the tag team titles. What a night. Another 2 huge matches made for tonight. We're only 2 episodes away from Sacrifice, and the commissioner kicking off this new era to an amazing start, no doubt about it. And here's a man who wants to thrive in this new era, as we found out on Metal. About to make his way to the ring, the Intercontinental Champion Chris Jericho, set for one-on-one action. He retained that Intercontinental title, and over the limit by defeating Chris Benoit in a 3 Stages of Hell matchup. We haven't seen Chris Benoit since, but it was this past week on Metal where Chris Jericho addressed Mr. Anderson, and if you didn't see it, the gist of it was basically he called him an ass clown. And I'm sure that Mr. Anderson saw that, and I'm sure that he was not happy. After all, Mr. Anderson was the one who pinned Chris Jericho on episode 26, and the commissioner rewarded him a match up at Sacrifice for the IC title. So we found out on Metal it's going to be Chris Jericho defending the title against Mr. Anderson, but tonight he has bigger problems. He has to face this man, the fallen angel, Christopher Daniels. Last week, Christopher Daniels made his in-ring debut on our Cross the Line special, came so close to winning the Hardcore title, but it was a amazing feat of agility by Christopher Daniels that in the end cost him a BME, best moonsault ever, didn't connect through the table, and he got hit with a Raven effect, and Raven retained the Hardcore title last week. But here tonight, Christopher Daniels is looking to bounce back in his second matchup here in NLW as Chris Jericho goes behind. Our first matchup of the evening, Christopher Daniels going one-on-one with Chris Jericho, and Jericho, as our Intercontinental Champion, has had some tough challenges recently. Lost to Mr. Anderson, causing him to be the #1 contender, and then only lost to CM Punk this past week due to interference by AJ Styles. And now Christopher Daniels looks to run at Chris Jericho here, but Jericho wisely scouts him out and has him by the legs, and oh my lord, look at the way he threw him right into the steel steps head first, and now going after him on the outside. Elbow to the bridge of the back, and maybe can start to wear down Daniels, but looks as if we have company out here. There you see Mr. Anderson at ringside. He is the man who was announced as the #1 contender to Chris Jericho's Intercontinental title. In fact, Chris Jericho, as we've mentioned before, called Mr. Anderson an ass clown on Metal this past week, and I'm sure Mr. Anderson isn't happy about that, but he's going to scout his opponent here tonight as he has the headlock applied on Christopher Daniels. Of course, it was Mr. Anderson who rolled up Chris Jericho for the 1-2-3 on episode 26, pinning the Intercontinental Champion, and there's a great reversal by Daniels, runs off the ropes and goes for a leg drop, but instead rolls out of the way does Chris Jericho, and now Daniels on the back foot and a massive drop kick to Daniels. He's on the apron now, and a win over the Intercontinental Champion will not only be good for Mr. Anderson, but it would also be amazing for Christopher Daniels as he rolls over him, and now a massive kick to the stomach. Jericho caught up against the ropes here, and now Daniels sends him to the outside. And look at Mr. Anderson, look right deep into the eyes of Jericho, and look at Daniels, the amazing high flying agility of Christopher Daniels, the fallen angel, falling right on top of Chris Jericho there with a moonsault, sending him back in the ring, and he is in all control. So focused is Daniels to try and bounce back from that loss last week in that hardcore title matchup. He's on the apron again, and now crossbody. Can he begin to build momentum? That is the question. Chris Jericho is groggy on his feet, and again a drop toe hold into the second apron, the second turnbuckle there. Daniels gonna have to continue this momentum here, and he does so in another moonsault by Daniels. He has all power and all high flying agility there, and another kick to the back. Mr. Anson has got to be liking what he sees. If Chris Jericho is worn down enough tonight, then he's not going to be 100% at Sacrifice when he faces him for the title, but he's managing to reverse that one and just gets hung in the ropes, does Daniels, by Jericho, and he points to Mr. Anderson. He knows who he's going to try and send a message to here tonight. He's looking to hit a powerbomb, is Jericho, but a reversal, no! Straight into the walls. And what a major message this would send Mr. Anderson if he were to tap out Christopher Daniels here. He's near the ropes, but can he get there? He must be in an amazing amount of pain, but he does get to the ropes, and the way he's got that twerk on that back in the walls of Jericho, it just goes to show Chris Jericho not letting up one bit. And again, he's keeping his eyes on Mr. Anderson as he edges his way closer to the ring. It's going to be Mr. Anderson going up against Jericho at Sacrifice, but right now he's got Daniels to worry about. A punch sends him down, and now Jericho on the top rope and a massive kick to the face of Jericho, and now he's going to go for a Hurricane Rana. Is Daniels the reversal, and oh my goodness! Did you see the way his neck snapped back into his head as it hit the ring mat? The powerbomb from the top rope, and now Jericho says it's the end here. But oh my lord, another amazing reversal with that DDT. And now Daniels looking to hit the BME. Best movesault ever perhaps, but Jericho moves out of the way. Doesn't do it that time, and now Jericho with the lion salt misses again. Both men going for their finishes in quick succession. BME didn't connect, but neither did the lion salt, and a cover by Daniels, and now a cover by Y2J, but another kick out. Daniels up against the ropes now. What does these guys have to do? And oh my lord, and out of nowhere, that Codebreaker hitting him in the head, and this is it. From out of nowhere, that massive Codebreaker, knees to the skull, and it hit perfectly. The Intercontinental Champion doesn't suffer a hiccup here tonight. He has been victorious. Builds momentum on the road to Sacrifice, but Christopher Daniels, unfortunately for him, came close on several occasions, as we're going to find out. He missed the BME, but Jericho missed the lion salt, and then both men were groggy, but out of nowhere Daniels went for the clothesline, reversed into a Codebreaker by Chris Jericho, and unfortunately for Christopher Daniels, he couldn't get a victory here tonight. Two amazing performances by Daniels, but look at this. Mr. Anderson has ascended the steel steps, and Chris Jericho's laid down that Intercontinental title. He's saying to Mr. Anderson, if you want to get it, you gotta face me. He's laid it out, and the battle lines have been drawn, so to speak. They will go one-on-one at Sacrifice. It's going to be Mr. Anderson versus Chris Jericho for the Intercontinental title. But can Anderson do it on the big stage? That is the real question. Well, still to come, ladies and gentlemen, our main event, Sting, our new World Heavyweight Champion, is going to go one-on-one with Randy Orton. Orton's looking to make an impression. I'm going to try and ignore the fears he has about Kane interfering, but it's going to be World Champion Sting against Orton later tonight. But in our next part, it's going to be for the tag team titles. AJ Styles and CM Punk, bitter enemies, are going to team up tonight and challenge for the NLW tag team titles against Kevin Nash and The Big Show. Will they get along? We'll find out next week.